I guess I could say good morning, but it's not really good, is it? Another day, another mass shooting. Last weekend, Buffalo. Yesterday, Texas. Last weekend, brown people out trying to shop. Yesterday, elementary school kids going to school. And as usual, politicians are going to trot out with the tried and trite and familiar thoughts and prayers. And I think people are responding at this point as you would expect them to. You can keep your thoughts and prayers. Some of them are even going so far as to say, here's what you can do with your thoughts and prayers. But here's what we need for the people who allegedly work for us, the people who hold elected office, to do on our behalf. And understand first that this is a matter of political will. They can't say they won't if they decide to do it. We've seen that they can do whatever they want to do. And so we have to conclude after all this time and all of these murders, and I made notes to myself. So going back to Sandy Hook, I actually had a message in my email from the Everytown USA, because it's happening, it seems, in every town in the USA this morning. Sandy Hook, December 14, 2012, Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. Then we can fast forward to Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida on Valentine's Day, 2018. And then yesterday, the murders in Texas. And then, of course, moving away from schools, but you don't have to be in school to be killed by a lunatic with a gun. Buffalo, New York, people out minding their business, trying to shop on a Saturday. And so there's some things that we need to decide to do. And here's what I want to suggest. This is an election year. And if politicians can't do anything else, they can count. And what they need to be able to count right now is us, this is only figurative, not literal, blowing up their phone line in their district offices and in their office in the United States House of Representatives and in their office in the United States Senate, blowing up their phone lines to stay in the election year of 2022, handle the people's business or lose your job. Now, that's not going to frighten members of the Senate, 2/3 of them who are not going to be up for election in 2022. But you know what? 2024 is coming, and so is 2026. And if they see us handle business with the members of Congress this year, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. And for the 1/3 of the Senate who are up for re-election or for election in 2022, handle the people's business or lose your job. The election of 2022 is about accountability. And right now, we the people want the folks who allegedly represent us in the Congress, in the House of Representatives and the Senate, to do what we need them to do. Poll after poll after poll show that a large majority of Americans want background checks in order to own a weapon. A large majority even of NRA owners understand the need for background checks. NRA owners, of which I have been one. I would take the time to pull out my membership card. You'll just have to take my word for it. Also favor keeping guns out of the hands of people who have mental health diagnoses or issues or behaviors and who have a past history, a track record of violence, all right? We don't want those people having guns. And then I don't know what the statistics show as far as NRA members and assault weapons and high capacity magazines, but we know that for the average person who's not an NRA member, who far outweigh and outnumber NRA members, want high capacity magazine weapons and assault weapons off our streets. You can't say you need an assault weapon to go hunting, because if you need an assault weapon to hunt, you are a piss poor hunter and you need to find a new sport. But assault weapons should only be in the hands of law enforcement and the military. And then if they are accessible to go out, if you're playing war games or whatever, mock war games at a shooting range or something like that, that's fine. But for me, as a gun owner, to have an AR-15 in my house, for what? Enough is enough. 2022, an election year of accountability. Do what we want you to do now before Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th, or we will fire you. And whoever we hire in your place, we will expect to do this. And if they don't, we'll recall them. We won't even wait for 2 years. Enough is enough. So here's what we need, very simply. The first, and in no particular order, we need for President Biden to nominate a new director of AFT, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. The last nominee was run off the nomination on a rail as a result of politics. Nobody got time for that. Nominate a new AFT director. Number two, designate someone to be, and the term czar has been overused, but designate someone to be the point person, your gun policy czar for your administration. Number three, we need to, in the Senate, expect the 50 Democrats and the vice president, giving them 50 plus 1, to eliminate the filibuster for the purpose of passing gun legislation that will protect the people that the people in Congress allege that they serve. No more excuses. Understand that the filibuster rule is just that. It's a Senate rule. It's not in the Constitution. It's not a matter of law or necessity. It's what they do. And they will say, well, when we're in the majority, that's one thing. But if we're in the minority, what then? You know what? We don't even care about that now. Do your damn job. Get rid of the filibuster, at least for the purposes of dealing with the gun issue. And then deal with the things we talked about. No more assault weapons on the streets, no more large capacity magazines, no people with mental health issues, no people with histories of violence should be able to access weapons. Why is that objectionable? How many more school kids have to die? The kids who were murdered in Newtown in 2012, they would be getting ready to go into their senior year of high school next fall. The kids who were murdered at Stoneman Douglas in Parkland, Florida, would be graduating from college either this year or next year or the year after that, or whatever they were doing with their life and their career, serving the nation in the military, being a plumber, a mechanic, a carpenter, whatever, cosmetologist, but they would be out living life. And instead, they're lying in a cold grave because our country hasn't had the stones, or not the country, the people who are allegedly serving us in the House and the Senate have not had the stones to stand up to a fumbling, bumbling, stumbling NRA. They're in all manner of trouble. We ain't even got time for all that. But the bottom line is they work for us. They don't work for the NRA. They don't work for the gun manufacturers. And whoever is willing to stand on the side of gun manufacturers instead of we the people, we need to let them know come November 8th, we're going to fire your butt and send you home. And whoever we elect in your place, if they don't do the work we send them there to do immediately as job one in the next session of Congress, we will do a recall, initiate a recall them and put somebody in office who will handle the people's business. Back to the list. As I said, background checks. Nobody with mental health issues, nobody with violence issues. And again, no more weapons of war with high capacity magazines should be legal for purchase by any individual, only law enforcement and military, and again, perhaps a shooting range or something for the purpose of being used for war games such as they are on site, or a compound where war games are done, performed, engaged in on site. But that's it. That's it. That's all. We need to put the pressure on right now. We don't want to hear anything else about thoughts and prayers, because clearly whatever prayers you're praying and whoever you're praying to is not working. And in part because you're not working in the House of Representatives. You're not working in the Senate. And to come back and say, well, now's not the time to talk about it. And how ironic is it? How timely is it that the NRA is meeting this week in, of all states, Texas, right after this massacre of elementary school kids in their own state? We need to put them on notice. We don't care what you say. We don't care what the gun manufacturers say. We are coming for you. We want our citizens protected. We want our children protected. We want people protected who are attending a concert, for crying out loud, in Las Vegas. We want people protected who are shopping on a Saturday, as in Buffalo. We want our kids protected when they go to school. And any of the other mass murders, and mass murders at this point is any time more than 4 people are murdered at a time, they call it a mass murder. And we're just having one after another, after another, after another. We're tired. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And enough is enough. Do your jobs or get fired. Handle the people's business now. This is Pastor T for Stop Falling for the Okie Doke. Over and out.